Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and this is Taking Care of Business. Joining me today is Dr. Gillian Mandich, who is a happiness researcher, and I have to mention one of the Canada's top 100 most powerful women, recently named by the Women's Executive Network. Thanks for joining us today, Gillian.
Good morning. It's nice to see you.
Right, super. I want to talk about a national poll that came out called Money Mindset Imprints. Sorry. Tell me a little bit about that poll and what were some of the key findings?
Yeah, so, I think so the Cooperators commissioned this poll and we're looking at different things. And I think that what they did was they surveyed Canadians and we're looking at different patterns in terms of how we spend things, how maybe our histories affect how we spend our money, our mindset around it. And one of the key things they found was we all have these what we call like shock moments or these key times that really influence our spending. And, it was really an eye-opening data in a lot of ways, because what we're seeing is that a lot of Canadians are not, they wouldn't get an A on their report card in terms of their financial literacy or things like that. And so it really has painted this area of opportunity where we have a lot of work to do. But when we take a personalized approach to our money, instead of like a cookie cutter approach, we can start to meet us where we are and then figure out something that works for us, opens up the conversation, about finances, because often, it's a taboo topic in a lot of conversations, right?
Yeah. Now you mentioned those shock moments, and obviously the shock moment now, and it has been for almost 2 years, is the whole pandemic thing. But we've gone through a lot of different things, right? Obviously depressions and recessions and wars. Financial crisis not long ago, 10 years ago now or so.
2008,
Uh,
yeah.
So how do those shock moments have, the impact on Canadians and how they approach things like finances, insurance, security, and future planning even?
Yeah, well, it's one of those things with like insurance, for example. We never plan for anything to not go as we want, but that's not how life happens, right? Things happen, pandemics happen, job losses happen. And so part of it is figuring out, okay, well, if we know that, how do we create a sense of control where we don't have control? And so one of those ways is to plan and is to prepare for those things, as opposed to just often, some people don't want to even think about it. So they pretend like it's not happening and it doesn't exist. And then all of a sudden shocks us and hits us in the face. But if we can open up the conversation and prepare for those things, then what we do is we set ourselves up that no matter what happens in my life, I know that I've taken the steps that I can to really set myself, my family up for a successful future.
And those impacts, so beyond say the financial part of it, what about in terms of the impact on the well-being of a person and their state of mind?
Oh, for sure. I think sometimes we don't understand that it's not like we live in these silos where finances is a silo and our mental health is a silo and our physical health is a silo, for example. Everything in our life is connected, and we're connected with other people as well. And so I think that part of having conversations, especially around money, financial literacy, financial planning, is important, because what that does when you have those, often, especially if you've never had them before, it can feel uncomfortable or scary. When we have those conversations, it impacts other areas of our life. Like, for example, my area of expertise and what I look at is our happiness, because when we do take those steps and we are brave and courageous, if we are feeling scared and we do those things, then it helps us boost our happiness, because we've done what we can and what's in our control. And that's something that is really associated with our happiness, with our mental health. And then again, from there, it extrapolates into other areas as well. But just recognizing that one focus on finances, for example, does affect other parts of our life for sure.
So how can we bring more happiness and stability into our lives? And stability is a key word, right? Because we live in a rapidly changing world that, with ups and downs taking place every day globally, and which, impact us locally, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think that step number one is stop trying to control it, in terms of like wishing something was different. Instead of that, let's prepare. let's prepare ourselves for these different outcomes. And this is why, with the study you were talking about earlier, one of the things I love about cooperators is that what they're encouraging is for people to create a plan that's as unique as their DNA. So to sit down, for them, it's find an agent across Canada where you are, where you can actually make a plan and you can prepare. And I think that what that does is, instead of reacting when things go wrong, we are equipped with a variety of different tools and strategies so that when things go that aren't planned, we have a strategy in place, and that can be really comforting. It can give us more security, especially like you said, in an environment that it feels like it's constantly changing and it's very uncertain, right?
All right, super. Well, thanks for joining us again today, Gillian.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, that was Gillian Mandich, who is a happiness researcher and recently named one of Canada's top 100 most powerful women by the Women's Executive Network. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and this is Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.